I think
look at us.
Accent.
As ignorant Americans, we hear an accent.
Oh, he just fakes his accent.
No, I'm just saying I don't know if that's a British accent. Is it like Australian? You from
like oi?
Oi. Who says oi?
I don't know. He does.
I know, but like which country? Australian?
I don't know.
Do kangaroos say oi?
I think they all do.
Welcome to the fourth act, our entertainment podcast. Once again, I am Gabriel. This is my good friend, Misael. And today, what are we doing, my friend?
We will be discussing villains.
Villains, bad guys.
Bad guys.
Let's see here. First, we're going to do some shout-outs. I just want to jump right into it.
Go for it.
This is going to be a long episode, I feel. So, you start us off. Who do you want to shout out just by name? They deserve recognition, but they're not on our list.
Voldemort.
See? Or go ahead.
What do you mean, go ahead?
Go ahead. Do you have anything else to say about Voldemort or no?
Huh?
Anything, like, any quick thoughts? We're not going to go into depth.
I mean, the guy is a piece of shit.
Yeah. That's the thing, is he's a bad guy, but I just don't think there's enough there.
Yeah.
There's not enough there to dive.
Exactly.
Maybe in the book, but I think we are basing this off the movie with him.
I'm kind of going based off of like, dude, you're messing with kids.
Right. Yeah.
You're messing with kids.
You got tossed by Harry Potter?
Yeah.
A guy named Harry?
That's really the only reason why.
We'll go back and forth. So Omni-Man. Omni-Man almost made the list, but we don't know his full story because we haven't read the comics.
Well, yeah, we haven't seen him enough yet.
And for those who don't know, Omni-Man is from
Invincible,
which is a comic.
It is a comic.
It is also a show on Amazon, which is where we've seen it, and we haven't seen enough Omni-Man because I wanted to include him, but
You're right.
there wasn't enough there.
Yeah, from what we've seen so far, he's really cool, at least in the anime.
Okay. Next up. Any shout-outs from you?
I'll throw in Michael Myers.
Okay. So I had a whole section here.
I know you have some opinions.
Well, it's just with him, he's the embodiment of evil. That's his whole thing, is like he doesn't have a personality, he's just evil. There would not be enough to go in depth about Michael Myers. But now that we're on there,
there's no complex story behind him.
There's not enough. But while we're on that topic, I had a whole subcategory right here of just slashers. Ghostface is really cool, but there's so many different Ghostface killers. Right. Jason, Freddy. Again, there's not much to say about that. I just think that they deserve a shout out.
They're just fun.
Even I actually have the Velociraptors from Jurassic Park on here because they're terrifying. In part 1 and part 2, they're evil. But again, they're just monsters. I'll do one more before I throw it back to you. A unique one I had on here is I believe it's pronounced Armitage family from Get Out. So
okay.
Because you want them dead.
Yeah.
By the end of that movie, you're rooting for them. Let's go.
Yeah.
Okay. Any quick ones for you?
I'm gonna have to throw in Green Goblin.
Yes, I had him on my honorable mentions too.
Yeah, Green Goblin for sure.
Any other, while we're on the topic, any other superhero villains, antagonists? Because I mean,
that's a big list. That list can be exhaustive.
Exactly.
So I'm just gonna stay with that.
I made a couple. I have like the Christopher Nolan villains, all of them, which we'll get to later. But Bane, even though
Bane's cool.
Everybody likes to make fun of him because of the voice. Bane, Scarecrow, just like his vision of those villains is really cool. I got Vulture that's a good one, from Spider-Man Homecoming. He's really good. I think he's underrated. I think people like him, but when you think about superhero villains, you don't really go to Vulture, but Michael Keaton killed it.
Killmonger's a good one.
I think he was close to being on our list. He was close.
He was mentioned.
Anybody else for you?
No, I'll just stay with these. I think I just want to get to our main list.
Let me just shout out 2 more.
Fine.
John Doe. So Kevin Spacey from Seven.
Mm-hmm.
Again, he almost made our list, but we agreed that he really only pops up at the end. He's a threat in the whole movie, but he really only pops out in the end. And then I actually haven't told you this one, but from Inglourious Bastards, the main villain there, I think they call him the Jew Hunter, but his name's Hans Landa. So he works for the Nazis. He's not a Nazi. Might as well be, though. But if you just watch the first 10 minutes of that movie, like just look it up on YouTube, just type in Inglourious Bastards scene. It'll probably be up there.
Yeah.
It's so tense. It's so tense. Just watch it. And I just want to leave it at that. So what we're going to do now is list the 10 villains and discuss the 10 villains that did make our list. And at the very end, we're going to rank them by not how evil they are, not how successful they were.
More like their motives, their ideologies.
Just, I guess, who we think is the best.
Right.
Character / how evil. We'll do it. We'll find out a way.
So we made this list together.
Right. This isn't a surprise like episode 1, how we're revealing our answers to each other. We know what the list is already.
Yes, we made this together. Who we think deserves to be the top 10.
Okay. So let's just get the easy one out of the way. Yeah. Whenever we ask...
One of the easy ones.
Whenever we ask somebody's opinion, first one they go to...
Usually.
Is Darth Vader. He is the movie villain, like the iconic movie villain.
Right.
He's on everybody's list. He's got to be, even if you don't know Star Wars, have seen Star Wars, you know Darth Vader.
You know Darth Vader.
You know the line. We talked about that a little bit on episode 1. He definitely deserves to be on this list. Any other thoughts on him?
Well, I mean, for those of you who haven't watched Star Wars, first of all, you should.
All of them? Yeah, you should watch 4, 5, and 6, but skip 1 and 2, and then watch 3, and then maybe just watch 7.
Just watch all of them. Just watch all of them. Why not?
Watch Mandalorian, only his first 2 seasons.
Just the first 2 seasons. Andor's great, by the way.
Watch Andor. I haven't seen it yet, but watch Andor.
Watch Andor.
Oh, Rogue One.
Rogue One's great.
Which Darth Vader's also in.
And I think that one has like one of the coolest like hallway scenes where he's just like chasing them.
We could probably have a whole segment just on hallway action scenes.
That would be cool.
We could.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's on our list. That's 1. Number 2. What do we got?
Another obvious one. Thanos.
Of course. Which I like to call our generation's Darth Vader. Not in terms of who they are, but just like everybody our age knows who Thanos is. Like, he's pop culture to us.
Right.
He gave us that ending with Infinity War that Darth Vader gave on Empire.
On Empire Strikes Back.
Right.
Yeah, and just to kind of, add to that is there were points where you were just like,
hopeless.
I see this man's
view.
You're
right.
I can kind of see where this guy's coming from. Yeah, the way he approached things and did it aren't the best, but in his eyes, he was doing good.
Right. And again, yeah, that's what makes, we'll talk more about that with these villains. Like, that's what makes a great villain is when they think that they're the hero in their own story.
Right.
But what I like with Thanos that I don't think a lot of people talk about is he says that, right? In Infinity War, like, he says that he's doing this, for the greater good. He's killing millions to save billions. And that he's the only one that can do that. He's the only one that is willing to do it. Yeah. But there is some side of him where I think he's bullshitting is my point. There's a side of him that does enjoy this.
Oh, yeah, by far.
Yeah, because in Endgame, you even hear hints. Well, he says it. He says, okay. So he actually says that he didn't enjoy, whatever. I'm butchering the line, but he didn't enjoy conquering planets, killing people, whatever. He said, but like you guys, he's like, I'm going to enjoy this. So I think he does. I think
at that point it was more like I fucking hate you guys, so I'm gonna enjoy this.
Right. But I think that's always there is my point. I think he's bullshitting.
It could be.
I think he's justifying it one way, but he really is crazy.
Mm.
But he has a point. Too many people. there are too many people.
Hey man, just driving out here.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, which we mentioned.
I could use a real Thanos.
Okay. So I think those are the two most obvious ones here. Yes. Now we're gonna get a little more exciting with number 3 on our list, Agent Smith from The Matrix. Played by Hugo Weaving. He's incredible. I think he's the star of the franchise because Neo, all the other ones, like it's fine. The first movie is the only really good one, but his character, Agent Smith, like as we were prepping this list, and I was actually diving deeper into Agent Smith, and he's really a character that is looking for a purpose. Like he believes, because he's a program in the Matrix.
A machine.
I'm not going to explain the whole Matrix to you if you haven't seen it, but he's a program in the Matrix to stop threats. And
to the Matrix.
To the Matrix.
Right.
So he was built by the machine, so he has a purpose.
Right.
And then, Neo destroys him in the first one. And then when he comes back in the second, like, he's so obsessed with Neo because...
And at that point, it's not even working for the machines. He's like, I'm out for you.
I forgot the word for it. They have this whole lore. When I was researching it, I was just like, you know what? Like, The Matrix would be pretty cool if it was like a comic, or if it was like something else other than a movie. It felt like it was too short. Like they're shoving too much into 2 and 3. But anyway, so he's just rogue. He's a rogue agent now. Rogue. I think he becomes a virus. That's his whole thing. Yeah, he makes clones, so there's more of him. And like, he keeps getting stronger. But his whole character is he's trying to find what his purpose is, and is trying to follow his purpose all the way up to the end when he has Neo beat. He's just like, I'm supposed to be right here, and I'm supposed to say this line to you. And it's I don't want to spoil everything, but he's just so complex, and he deserves to be on this list.
Exactly.
Number 4,
and I think if you watch our first episode, you might not be so surprised about this one.
Right. We already talked a little bit about him.
Terence Fletcher.
From
Whiplash. From Whiplash. From the movie that was on my top 10 and on his top 10. So
yeah, he makes this movie go. And without him, without that performance, this movie and the payoff is not as good as it is.
I think there are times where I think he is the star of the movie.
Yeah. He's hilarious, too. He talks shit to everybody.
He doesn't care.
But it's funny. It crosses the line. Like, at first you're against him, and then you start laughing at what he's saying.
Yeah, like, how are you coming up with this shit, man?
Yeah, just on the spot. I wonder if they let him ad-lib, too. I wonder how much of that is J.K. Simmons.
Yeah, who knows? I just know that watching the movie, and I'm like, I freaking hate this guy.
I think
I can kind of see what he's doing, and in his eyes, he's like, I'm going to make you great.
Right.
But the way he's approaching it.
Do you think there's a little more there, like how I was saying with Thanos? Like, do you think he actually does enjoy being abusive?
Yeah.
He's got to, like, cause he's, like I said, he's funny. So I think he enjoys doing this.
Absolutely. I think seeing him, you can kind of see that he probably had the same situation growing up, maybe with his father, where he was treated like shit.
Yeah, that's what he does.
That's what he does.
I want to go a little bit more into him without diving too deep into Whiplash, but his whole ideology is that, he wants to beat you down until you're great. And at one point in the movie, Miles Teller's character, which I'm forgetting his name right now. Even though I've seen this movie like 10 times, I'm forgetting his name. But he meets up with him later after he's not his student anymore. And he's like, they're explaining their ideologies to each other. And he's asking Fletcher at what point are you going too far? Like, until you get to the point of discouraging. And then he says, like, like the next big thing, like, wouldn't get discouraged.
Yeah.
So you kind of see, like, I can understand his ideology. Yeah. I'm not saying I agree with it.
No.
But I understand where he's coming from, why he believes that. But I do also think that he enjoys it a little bit.
Oh, so, he absolutely does. He absolutely does.
That's Fletcher.
And just the way he is, like, super manipulative and toxic.
Oh, absolutely.
When, when his student died, right?
Yep.
From that car accident.
But, you see, okay, yeah, now we're diving a little bit deeper. There's that scene with him getting the news that his previous student died, that killed himself. We find out later.
Right. And it was because of him.
They said that he started having issues, like mental health issues, starting from when he was in Fletcher's band. So he does break down and cry. See, I don't think he's being manipulative there. I think he is actually hurt by it, and that's just how complex he is. Like he could be hurt by it, but also be the asshole that caused it. Right.
Maybe just understanding, like, okay,
maybe there's more.
I didn't want this. I didn't want it to get this far.
Maybe that's what that is too. And then there's also a scene earlier with somebody. He sees at one of the shows. He sees a previous student. I don't think it's supposed to be that same one that dies. I don't think so. They don't mention it, so I'm not gonna make a connection there. But it's another previous student, I believe, and he's with his daughter. And then you see Fletcher being nice and giving him a hug and being nice to like the daughter. So like you see the complexities there. Like he's not pure evil.
Right.
He's just a dick. A really bad one, because if it causes someone to die, that's a big problem.
Yeah.
Number 5. Go ahead.
Homelander,
baby. Which we haven't seen his full story either. But
we haven't.
I think we've seen enough.
We've seen enough to determine that this dude is a fucking lunatic.
He's a lunatic.
He's a freaking lunatic.
He's probably... Do you think he's crazier? Should I just spoil what's coming up?
Sure.
Everybody knows. Another obvious one, but I think we were just saving them for later, is the Joker. So I guess screw it. We'll just talk about the Joker right now, too, right after Homelander. But do you think Homelander is crazier than the Joker? Like,
I think so. Homelander, he's kind of like sadistic,
Yeah.
This dude is fucked up.
He's Superman with like the Joker's mentality.
Yeah.
Pretty much. But, oh man, we can have a whole like 30-minute talk about Homelander and his mental issues, but like...
Yeah, so if you don't know him, he's from The Boys on Amazon Prime. And their take is like what superheroes would be like if it was
in the real world. Life. So a lot of politics. There's not a lot of superheroing going on. No. It's a lot of shooting movies and faking a smile for the camera. And Homelander is the best at it. And he needs it.
He needs to be the best.
Well, he needs to be loved is his whole thing. Like at first he's getting it from his... It sounds funny, but that's his whole thing. Is he's obsessed with... He was a child that was experimented on in a lab, which is where all these powers come from.
He was created in the lab.
Yeah. And he comes out. Well, we don't see him like growing up or anything.
Right.
We just see the product of it. We know he's messed up from being tested on. He kind of has like a mommy complex.
He seems to have like mommy issues.
He definitely does. Because he didn't have a mommy.
Like so he needs a mommy.
He attached it to that one, I forgot her name, but in season 1.
She's like the boss.
She's the boss, and once he has enough of her and kills her, then he's kind of let loose. Like he kept him on the leash.
He needs a lot from her, to put it lightly.
Yeah, he loves breast milk too. He loves breast milk? This is going to sound funny out of context, but he loves breast milk. He loves jerking off. He loves, what else?
Being... I don't know.
Definitely torturing people. Like he won't just kill you. He'll like tease you about it.
He will. Well, before he tortures you, he's like messing with your mind first.
Yep.
He's trying to break you,
and he's always on the edge. Like the way that he speaks. The way he speaks in front of the camera is good. He's Superman, but behind the scenes, like as he's losing it more and more, he's on edge every time. And he gets everybody around him.
He's paranoid. He gets paranoid.
Yep.
At one point.
And then when you think that you have the upper hand on him, he's just like, well, I don't care. I'm going to do it this way. Again, I'm not trying to spoil the whole show or anything, but he's like, I'm going to do things my way. And then after a while, he's just like, fuck it. I don't even care about the ramifications. But he realizes that even then, even though if he's doing bad things, people still see him as a good guy.
He built somewhat of a cult. with the help of someone else.
That's where we've left off.
But
that's where we've left off.
Yeah, so
he was dating a Nazi at one point.
A Nazi.
But even he thought that she was going too far. I love those scenes of Homelander where like she's doing her Nazi thing.
At the end, he kind of just like, okay,
that's what I'm saying.
There's
like,
power from this. I kind of do like this.
Yeah.
You know, not that he needs power. He's the most powerful hero or villain or character in that world. So
and a couple of, maybe we should list like some evil things that they've done too, but he made a girl who was gonna jump off a building. So you know that she was gonna jump off a building. He goes up there and he confesses some stuff that he shouldn't be saying, but it's because he knows she's not gonna live. I'm gonna kill her.
Yeah.
So he confesses stuff to her first, and then makes her jump off. He doesn't throw her off. No, he makes her jump off after she didn't want to anymore.
Right.
If you don't think he deserves a spot on this list because you don't know him, just watch a couple clips. Okay.
So the next one,
which will
you
be
mentioned.
Oh yeah. So we'll just get right to it. The Joker, which is another obvious one. Specifically Heath Ledger's Joker, which we've talked about already. He's crazy.
He is,
but he's smart. Like he does have, even though we talked about this before, even though he says he doesn't have a plan, I feel like he has 5 outcomes, and he's just like, if any of those things happen,
I'm fine.
Well, I know my way out.
What
of
I've
this.
kind of noticed is that he has one major plan, one objective,
yeah,
and all those plans would lead to that objective. So if one fails, the next one will lead to that objective.
Yep. Because the whole thing in like the end of the second act, like when he escapes the prison and everything, like he had a whole plan.
Exactly.
There's a phone in a guy's belly. Like that wasn't on accident. No. This is well thought out. Like he's full of shit. And that's the thing is he keeps lying. Yeah. He talks about his origin and explains it different ways every single time. Like he's full of shit. He's hilarious.
He's hilarious.
Only in a couple scenes. Like, he's more scary than funny for sure.
He's very serious. Like
why so serious?
I see what you did. You almost feel like he's talking to you at some points, and you're just like, damn.
Yeah, he's scary, and he is the best Joker. I don't want to hear any other opinions on that. Don't lie to yourself. And out of these, really quick, Joker won, or Heath Ledger won for Best Supporting Actor. Fletcher, J.K. Simmons has won for Best Supporting Actor. So we got 2 of those bad boys on here so far.
Right.
I think that's it, honestly. But next, let's go to the Game of Thrones boys. We have 2 here. We could have picked a couple villains from Game of Thrones, Cersei.
But these 2 stand out to us.
These 2 are definitely the worst. And if you've seen Game of Thrones, you know what the 2 we're talking about. But first, let's talk about where do you want to go?
Real quick. Ramsay,
okay.
And the reason why we have 2 is because we couldn't pick on just one.
We couldn't pick on. We wanted to be a little diverse, and we couldn't settle on just one. Character. So we're like, let's bring them both in. So Ramsay first,
and Joffrey.
You want to start with Ramsay, or you want me to start?
Go ahead.
So Ramsay is pure evil. There's no.
He's sadistic.
There's no like. Maybe in the books they go deeper into it. There's no rhyme or reason why he's this evil. Besides, he's the bastard son. I'm forgetting the dad's name. I don't know if he mistreated him or something. But when
he seems to want to impress dad.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Oh, yeah. See, mommy issues, daddy issues. Raise your kids right. Raise your goddamn kids right.
Be gentle with them.
But yeah, he's just sadistic. He tortures people. We get introduced to him when he's torturing Theon.
Oh, yeah,
Theon. He's so bad. When we get introduced to him, we think he's friendly. He helps Theon escape.
Yeah,
gets on a horse, goes around, has like a bag over his head, or I'm pretty sure he has like a bag over his head. Goes around, takes the bag off, and he's back in the same room that he helped him escape from. Like that just gives you an example of who he is. A great introduction.
Right.
He messes with you. He tortures you. That's his whole thing. Is he's known for torturing. He cuts off this guy's dick after a while. He's just like, it's mine. Oh, this is because Theon's really He's like a little player. He thinks he is. So he's just like, oh, this is what you think with? Let me cut off your dick. This is what you like the most? Let me cut it off. Sends it to his family, and his family doesn't even come for him. Okay. And he's stuck there getting tortured. Messes them so bad, he convinces him that he's just like a pet. That just is a small example of what this guy is.
For me, my other favorite scene, and you'd probably know this is the Battle of the Bastards.
Yeah.
What he's doing with messing with, what's his name?
With, what's his name? The youngest boy.
I forgot his name.
You know what? It doesn't matter because he's not even a character in the show. He only has like 5 lines and that's it. Doesn't matter. The youngest son from the main family.
And just what he's doing.
Rickon.
With
his name's
Snow.
Rickon.
Rickon, there we go.
Rickon Stark. Hey, we have an audience member. Oh. Woo! But yeah. You were saying about Rickon, how he's messing with him.
Mm-hmm.
You want to elaborate? Just in case somebody doesn't know the scene.
So I might be thinking about the different scene than you then.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant in the Battle of the Bastards when he's shooting the arrow.
Oh, yeah. Okay, there's that one. Okay, no. So he's trying to get back at Jon Snow. And the way he's doing it is he has Rickon, and he took his brother,
who he offered him to. That's the whole reason why they're why they're standing off is because he's supposed to trade him his brother back. Mm-hmm. So he tells him, he's like, yeah, just go, just run to him. He's right there. Go to him,
get him.
And yeah, so he makes him run.
And as Jon Snow is running for his little brother, this guy is just casually shooting arrows at him, and
from far away, too. We're talking about like hundreds of yards, maybe.
So this guy, he is an archer. Like he can shoot.
That's what he's known for. He's not good with the sword. He's good as an archer.
So he's purposely missing the kid to mess with Jon Snow. Like, hey, I'm gonna get him.
He's being really cocky about it too. Like he's just like he's aiming and then he'll look away and then just shoot.
Yeah,
and like he'll be like just taking his time, even though like we know he's a good archer and we know he's messing with them.
So. It's a big ass field, so he has to run across this huge field to him.
No, but he sucks. I'm sorry to interrupt. He sucks because he's not just Rickon. He's not zigzagging. He's just running a straight line.
Well, he's a kid, all right?
He's an idiot and he deserves to die.
He's a kid, all
right?
This
is Game of Thrones, baby.
A kid. I don't give a fuck. It's a kid. He
deserved it.
You don't think about these intricate little details of like, how am I going to get away from this? You just fucking run.
12-year-old me would have made it.
Sure.
I'm built different.
Of course. I'm sure you are.
A little zigzag, a little circle here, a little like fake out. Mm-hmm.
So anyway, back to this. So yeah, he is messing with him until just about when Jon Snow is finally going to reach him.
They're like right here.
This far away. Ramsay's like, hey, I need to take him out.
Well, at this point, we're not watching him shoot the arrows anymore. We think, okay, he made it.
He made it.
He made it. And then out of nowhere, an arrow right behind, from the back, through the chest. Man, it was all a setup to get Jon away from his army. So now he's by himself in the middle of the field, and then Ramsay sends his army to go fight.
But you want to know what's the coolest thing? Jon Snow, out of rage, he's like, I'm not backing away from this army. I'm facing this army by myself.
I don't know if it was out of rage. I think it was just like, he got me. Like I fell for it.
No, this
is where I die. Because he like takes off his little. Like, it's almost like he's accepting it. Like, all right, just me and a sword. But next up.
So yeah, I mean that kind of just shows how.
Oh yeah, we've given a couple examples of how evil Ramsay is for whoever doesn't know. Keeping it in Game of Thrones, we'll talk about Joffrey next. I think Joffrey, because this is the one I was pushing for. I wanted Joffrey in here. Because he's unique, where he is a little kid. I think he is a product of this world.
Right.
Like, he's the worst of this world. Well, clearly Ramsay's worse.
Yeah.
Because he's evil and smart.
I think Joffrey, what he has going for him is that he was born into power.
Right. It's all he knows. And, again, be good. Parent your kids well. Because this kid is the worst. He goes back on his word. He doesn't know how to be king. He wasn't raised right. He ends up being king on accident because, well, not an accident, but his dad dies, and it's left to him to be the king now. Cersei, which is his mother, is pulling the strings, but after a while, well, not after a while, pretty quickly, after a couple episodes, he just does whatever he wants.
Right.
He's not even listening to her. So he's a little kid that has all the power and doesn't know how to use it. And which eventually does end up killing him. Yeah, he abuses it. But that's what's scary about him. It's like a little kid with a gun. I'd be more afraid with like a 4-year-old with a gun than like a 30-year-old with a gun.
Well, here's the thing. Like if you remove that power from him,
he ain't shit.
And
that's why I think he's unique, where all these other villains, antagonists, bad guys, whatever you want to call them, where they do have a power, a strength, like whether the power is their smarts, their physicality. He doesn't have any of that. He only has the power to tell people to do things. He's such a coward. You just want to punch him in the face. He's so good that because of all the hate he was getting in real life for the role, he quit acting. That's how good Joffrey is. What's his name? I had the names down for all the actors here, by the way.
I didn't even think about it.
Yeah, I wanted to shout him out, but what's his name? Because since he's not acting anymore, I think we should shout him out right here. Give him his flowers. But anything else on Joffrey for you?
No, that's about it because
Jack Gleason. That's his name.
No, I think that's it for me because I think we summed it up pretty well.
Yeah.
Of the character he is.
So up next, another unique one. Maybe the most unique one. Number 8 from Fight Club, Tyler Durden.
Tyler Durden.
I'm not going to explain the plot to Fight Club, but it has a really good twist in it. So if you don't want it spoiled, skip ahead. There should be time codes if I did it right. If our producer is working right, there should be time codes. Skip ahead. But Tyler Durden is, you've probably seen the clip. He's Brad Pitt in Fight Club. But not only is he Brad Pitt, he is what would you call it? A persona. Another. What's the word I'm looking for?
So let's talk about
a split personality.
Well, yeah, let's talk about the main guy first.
Why am I forgetting his name? Does he not have a name? Is he Tyler Durden too? I mean, he is Tyler Durden.
He is Tyler Durden.
I'm forgetting his real name, if he does have one. I just seen it
he does.
2 weeks ago too. Well, while he's looking it up, our main character, who's played by Ed Norton. He has insomnia. So he has trouble sleeping, and he wakes up places that he doesn't know how he got there. He's
just a narrator.
Oh, okay. So you see, he is Tyler. We never hear his name, so he is Tyler Durden. Yeah. But anyway, so yeah, we don't hear his name. He works an office job. He has an apartment that blows up, and he doesn't know how, and he meets this guy on an airplane.
Yeah, all kinds of things are happening, and he doesn't really know.
He meets a guy on an airplane who is Brad Pitt, Tyler Durden, and you think it's another reality, or not reality, but another character. And throughout the whole movie, you think that this guy who's pushing him to do bad things. So they start the Fight Club together, but it's more than just a Fight Club. Now they start a cult, a way of thinking, and now
it becomes this huge movement.
They become anarchists. Like they start blowing shit up. Well, they start wrecking havoc, but like the main thing that they're gonna do at the end is blow some buildings up, blow the banks up, I think.
Right.
And it's finally revealed. Like he puts pieces together. Again, not gonna go into every single detail, but then he finds out that Tyler Durden is him. First of all, Tyler Durden isn't there because it's all in his head.
Right.
But the guy Tyler Durden that started the Fight Club, started the cult and all this, is himself.
The narrator.
So this is a unique villain because it is himself, but it is real to him too. Yeah, it is all in his head, but it is something he has to defeat.
I think what makes it so cool is that you kind of start wondering, like, okay, what if this is actually him? You know, just he couldn't come to do that himself. So yeah, with whatever's going on in his mind with his mental health issues, the persona that was created, Tyler Durden, he does that all for him.
Right. And that's a big part of the movie too, is that Tyler Durden, when he's talking to him, when I think it's the monologue, Brad Pitt's monologue, like during the reveal when he's like, I'm everything you wanted to be.
Mm-hmm.
I'm how you want to look. I'm how you want to fuck. I'm how you want to, I forgot like the rest of the monologue, but point is he is the way that he wants to be, which is reflective. I don't know. They play it off like it's a guy thing, like it's a man thing. Again, I'm not gonna explain the whole plot of the Fight Club, but it is like almost like your inner demons or, that inner monologue you have when it becomes real. It's almost like fighting that bad voice in your head. Like he actually does it. And
you have to hold yourself back from doing these things that are otherwise unethical.
And the way that they do it in the movie is it becomes a real thing to him because of the insomnia. Right. Clever way of doing that. Unique villain. Anything else on him?
No, I think that's about it.
Now
only watch that movie.
Now this is the one that I was really pushing for, but you agreed pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Do you want to start?
So far we've...
Time out. Sorry. So this one is the one that I don't want spoiled. If you've made it this far and you don't want spoilers for The Last of Us 2, if you've only seen the show and you don't want the next season or two spoiled for you, just end the video, or at least fast forward to the end. There should be time codes. I'm giving you plenty of time. Pause it, fast forward, or just click the other episode. You've been warned. Go ahead.
Yeah, so far all of our antagonists have been either from
movies or TV.
Movies and TV series. So we thought it'd be a nice little nod to throw in a video game.
And it's the first time, well, I guess it's barely episode 2, but first time we're talking about video games.
Video games. However, I think it was a great choice. And when I had not thought about it until you brought it up, and then I said, well, it's because we can't just talk about this character without talking about the next character.
Right.
Which is Ellie.
So.
And we'll get into that soon.
I don't even know if we said it so far, but the villain that we have listed is Abby. Abby, who's the antagonist. That's how we're going to describe her. The antagonist of Last of Us 2.
Protagonist.
/protagonist. And that's where this is unique, is that you start off as Ellie in Last of Us 2. And again, I'm even giving you another warning. If you want no spoilers, get out of here. But Last of Us 2 opens, or very quickly, in like the first hour or two, Joel dies, and Abby kills him. Mm-hmm. Abby is the daughter of the doctor that Joel
was
kills.
Supposed to operate.
That was supposed to operate on Ellie
to find the cure.
So Joel kills him, and in the show, I love how he just does it right away. He just kills him right away. Boom,
boom.
Yep.
No,
I love those videos where where like they'll show their gameplay of Last of Us 1 and they like burn the doctor. And then Last of Us 2, they show the cutscene and he's just dead right there, but he's not burned. I'm gonna blow him up the next time I play Last of Us 1. Okay. I'm gonna find Abby. I'm gonna look for her. But anyway, so she's out for revenge. The game opens years after.
Right.
And Abby, we don't know too much about her yet, but she does kill Joel. And we're playing as Ellie at that point. And then from there on, we're playing as Ellie for like 10 hours. Mm-hmm. And this whole time, what I think is unique about this game and just how they handle their villains is that the whole time, during those 10 hours, I want to kill Abby.
Yeah, absolutely. I think anyone that played the game was in the same boat.
You want to kill her so bad. Her revenge. And all her friends.
We want revenge.
The dude that spit on Joel. I remembered all of them. I looked at all of them. And I was like, I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill you. And then the game switches. The
scripts are changed.
The scripts are flipped. And we get to the point where you think you've hit the climax of the game.
I think I told you, I'm like, dude, I'm at the end of the game. You're like, wait, where you at? And because you finished it before me. And I told you, like, dude, you're like halfway through. And I was like, what? There's no way.
So you get to the point where Abby and Ellie are having a showdown at the theater. And you think it's going to end. And then it switches. And then we go back a couple days. So it takes place over 3 days, the journey in Seattle. And then you switch to Abby. Excuse me. You switch to Abby. And as soon as that happened, I was just like, I see what you guys are doing. It's not going to work. And I thought it was going to be like a condensed version. I thought we were going to play like 3-4 hours of Abby. But then we started getting like, the weapon. Like you started, like when you customize the weapon, you started seeing that. Like, there's a bunch of guns here that you can unlock all this stuff. Like, and then once you finish the first day, and it took as long as like the other days, I was like, we're going to sit with her. And by like day 2, maybe 3, I started caring about Abby. And I don't know how they did it because, again, I saw the challenge. Like, I'm not trying to...
Well, you see her side of the story.
And
then you sympathize for her.
Yeah, and at the end of Last of Us 1, when I beat it for the first time, I was 2013. I was 18. So I didn't see anything wrong with what Joel did. It wasn't even a question. But all the discussions that were happening at the time, like Joel is the bad guy, like it was 50-50.
Right.
But I understood. Like I didn't think he was the bad guy.
Right.
But like the bad guy, you know? But I also didn't think he was right what he did. Like I was kind of like, if I was in his shoes, I'd do the same thing. But you also killed at least one innocent person, and I like how they played with that. So in Abby's world, he is the bad guy. He killed her father.
In her eyes, yeah.
So, and that's the whole point of The Last of Us is, at least The Last of Us 2, is it wants you to empathize with the other side. And what we learned from people that have played the game, is that not a lot of people can empathize. like a lot of people were pissed off that Joel was killed and that they made us play as Abby. Where I took it as a challenge.
And at that point, they just gave up completely.
Yeah.
They were just shitting on it. They're like, we're not playing this game.
Surprisingly, I think if I'm remembering correctly, it has a high completion rate, actually.
Now it does, I think.
You think so? You think after the fact? I don't know if I'm misremembering. It's been a while. Let me take a drink really quick. But anyway, again, I don't want to explain the whole plot.
Right.
Long story short is we see the shoe on the other foot. I actually start caring about Abby. I think it was around the point where you were like going from building to building, and she's like talking about her fear of heights and like she's really scared.
Oh,
and it kind of
like Downtown Seattle.
Yeah, where she's with I'm forgetting his name.
Liv.
Yeah. It's around that point where like she started feeling more human.
Yeah, well,
you're starting to see her fears and everything.
You see the way she is with Liv and how she protects him, and it's just like, this person isn't a bad person. She was just driven to do a bad thing
because a bad thing happened to her.
And
it's about revenge, the cycle of revenge. Great story. So through her eyes, now Ellie is killing all of her friends.
Yes.
Where before I was Ellie and I wanted to kill those people. Now I'm on the other foot. Now the shoe's on the other foot. I'm on the other side of things. And now, not that it's me, but in the eyes of Abby, now this girl's killing my friends. And one of them's pregnant.
Yeah. You don't like that.
So yeah, I think she's a unique character. But if we're including Abby, we have to include Ellie. So it's Abby/Ellie as the antagonist.
Protagonist.
Well, in this list.
For both.
In this list, antagonist.
Okay. Well, so they're both antagonists.
Yes. And they're both protagonists, like you said.
And that's kind of what I told you. I said I didn't add Abby to my list because...
You didn't see her as an antagonist.
I didn't see her as an antagonist. And we would have to talk about Ellie. We couldn't just talk about Abby.
Yeah, and that's why I was like, all right, exactly. You're going too far. Let's save it for the podcast. So yeah, we're on the same page there, where the game worked for us. We do see them both as protagonists and antagonists. We both see their flaws.
It's going to be interesting to see how they tackle it in the actual series.
Yeah.
Which I can't wait for, by the way.
Who do you want cast as Abby?
Good question.
Ronda Rousey?
I have not thought about it.
I've seen people say Florence Pugh.
I've seen that too.
She's just good in everything. Put her in everything.
She's great.
Okay. So those are our 10 villains. One more time, let's go through it. We have Darth Vader. We have Thanos. We have Agent Smith from The Matrix. We have Fletcher from Whiplash. We have Homelander from The Boys. We have Ramsay and Joffrey from Game of Thrones. We have Tyler Durden from Fight Club, Joker, Heath Ledger's Joker from The Dark Knight. And we have Abby / Ellie from The Last of Us 2.
Game.
So next up, last thing we're going to do is rank them.
Right.
Where should we start? You want to pick one and then I'll pick one?
Or of who we think should be at the top?
Not even the top. Let's just pick two and we'll build the list from there.
Okay.
So just pick a random one.
Thanos.
Let's just go big boys at first. Let's go Darth Vader. Okay. Who in your mind should be ranked higher? And again, we're kind of still trying to figure out how we're going to rank them. Is it who was the better villain? Who's a better character? Who's more interesting? How are we doing this?
Better character.
So ranking them by who we think is the better character.
I think Thanos is.
I also think Thanos is. Mm-hmm. I think Vader, like we mentioned, is the movie villain.
Yeah.
And
he's great as a villain. Don't get me wrong. He's cold-hearted.
Right. But like in A New Hope, like my criticism for that is usually that like Darth Vader is like there's not a lot to him. He's not that complex.
Yeah.
He's just a guy in a suit that's really evil and it's cool to look at until the second one, until Empire.
Yeah, it's kind of just someone that you should fear. That's really all it is.
Right.
Like, you know that he's a bad guy and you know you should be afraid of him. That's pretty much it.
And there's a little complexity with him where he does turn good.
Yeah, he's at points he's struggling whether he should be good, he should stay bad.
And whenever I look at the original Star Wars, I don't look at it because I know that those movies were made with a vision that was done. Right. And the prequels and Clone Wars try to develop it and make it stronger. That doesn't work for me. I don't know why. Just like I can still see like, okay, these are the movies. That's the vision. So knowing what happens with Anakin and all that doesn't make it stronger for me. And I'm not like, oh, Darth Vader's this complex character. We're just talking about Darth Vader in the original trilogy. Unless you want to talk about him like everything. No, if we're including Anakin. Okay. So just original vision of Darth Vader. Again, A New Hope doesn't really do a lot.
Right.
Empire, that's when he starts becoming a more interesting character. And I know like some older heads are probably like, just some Star Wars fans are probably like, what is he talking about? But what is the last? A Jedi. Jedi is when we get the most interesting version, is like when he's like actually conflicted of like, what am I gonna do? And that's when he becomes like a fully realized character. Yeah. Thanos is interesting right off the bat. And for 2 movies, we get him. Infinity War is his movie. It could have been just called Thanos. Right. With the Avengers as the antagonist. So I'm with you there. I'm going to put Thanos over Vader. Are we writing this down? Let's do it.
We probably should.
Yeah. I'm going to forget. I don't have a lot of space here. Thanos. Well, this isn't going to be official because people are going to move around. But yeah, for right now, Thanos
over Darth Vader.
Over Vader.
Okay.
Now, we should just do no, we don't have enough for a bracket. Because it would be 10, it'd be off. Whatever.
Yeah, that's right.
So let me throw one out now. Let me throw out the other obvious one, Joker.
Okay. And?
Do we think, I already know the answer to this question. Do we think Joker is a better character than Darth Vader? Only Dark Knight's Joker.
Yes.
100%.
100%.
I'm with you there. Same reasons. I just think Joker is more complex. Even though like we've seen a whole 2 hours of him, I still don't know his origin. I don't know anything about him. Like we know so little about him.
About who again?
A Joker.
Oh, Joker. Yeah.
We know so little about him and motivations. He's just chaos, but he's so interesting. Like you just want to keep watching him. The Dark Knight is as good as it is because of the Joker. So you can argue that the Vader, that Star Wars is as good as it is because of Vader, but. Right. Regardless, I think Joker's just the better character.
So now, is Joker the better character than Thanos?
I'm going to say that's a good question. Performance-wise,
yes.
I would say yes, but I'm going to give it to Thanos. Because if we are including, we're kind of just like making up our own rules as we go along, like trying to rank them. Right. But if we're going to include like who is the better villain. Hey, Thanos won, baby.
Yeah,
at least for a little bit. For 5 years, Thanos won. But I do think character-wise, too, I think I got to go with Thanos.
I agree. So
as of right now, it's Thanos, Joker,
and Darth Vader. So now let me throw in, since we're in like the whole superhero part right now.
Okay.
Homelander.
Where do you put him? Just throw out where you think he ranks.
I think Homelander for me. Oh, thank you.
Oh, our barista.
I know.
I'm okay.
Thank you so much.
I'm okay. You know what? Give me another Modelo. Give me another Corona.
I needed this coffee. I'm tired.
Coffee and beer.
I say for me, Homelander does not beat Darth Vader for me.
Is there a reason why? Because if we talked about how Vader isn't like this well-realized character until like the end, is there a reason why Homelander doesn't pass
we're not talking about that, like we're not just gonna talk about the beginning of these characters, right? We want to see the whole story. And even though we haven't seen all of Homelander, that's probably the reason why. I think we know a little bit more about Darth Vader. And to me, they're both kind of similar characters. They're both kind of just cruel, cold-hearted.
Well, I think Vader's a little softer.
It depends.
He's got a soft spot in him.
Well, for Padme.
Well, for his boy, too. Hey, we're not talking about the prequels.
Okay.
Unless you want to talk about the prequels. If we're including just Vader as a character through comics, video games, as just like an imposing threat.
Right.
Which we probably should, to be honest. We shouldn't limit it just to that. But even then, the prequels don't do anything for me to enhance Darth Vader.
So you think Homelander should be above Darth Vader?
I think...
Or even above Joker?
No, not above Joker.
Okay.
I'm going to give... If we're including everything with Vader... Because I don't want to just do it just for the name. It's Darth Vader, and like Homelander's not as popular, so,
Right.
I think right now, I'm not going to fight you too much.
Okay.
And we'll put him number 4.
Okay.
Right now, through these.
Okay, that's fine.
So we'll put him under Vader. It's just, every time Homelander's on the screen, or Anthony Starr, whenever he's on the screen,
he's great.
I'm paying attention. I'm putting the snacks down.
He is a piece of shit. In Homelander and outside.
And if we include Darth Vader in everything that he's been, like Rogue One, like that's the thing. I want to see Darth Vader in his prime. And then I think I would, like in more film and TV, I think I would put him higher for sure.
Right.
I get hype every time I see Vader. I feel like I'm underselling him a little bit, but it's just Homelander as a character, like the character work, the writing is so...
It's well written.
It's well written. It's way more complex than Darth Vader, but I'm going to put him under for now.
Okay.
That's another thing. We're agreeing on this list together, so I'm not pushing you on that. Let me throw in Joffrey.
Okay.
I think Joffrey goes 5 on this, out of the ones we have so far.
I agree. That I cannot argue with. However,
I don't have much to say there. Yeah, like on these matchups, I don't have much to say.
However, Ramsay.
Would you put him over Homelander?
No.
But you'd put him over Joffrey.
I think I'd put him over Joffrey.
So would I. I'm trying, let me see. Over Homelander.
They're both sadistic. They're both motherfuckers.
Pure evil. Not redeemable.
Almost, yeah.
Not redeemable at all. Like Joffrey looked like he knew what he was doing was wrong, but he was a stupid kid and he kept doing it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to put...
Yeah, Joffrey's more of a... I mean, they're all kind of products of their own environment, but I think Joffrey in particular, Ciri, she's a piece of shit too. His mom.
Yeah.
That whole
I like Cersei. I'm going to put Ramsay under Homelander. I think Homelander is still a better threat, a better character.
Okay. So I am going to throw in Agent Smith.
Ooh, that's a good one. Definitely a better character. And what's crazy is like Agent Smith almost didn't make the list. You threw him at me, and I had to do research because I've seen the movies before, but I was just like, what? How good of a character is Agent Smith on his own? Because Matrix, what do they call it? Revolutions and Reloaded. Cool action scenes sometimes, but those movies suck.
Yeah.
The first one's really good.
The first one is.
But I was just like, okay, let me just focus on Agent Smith. And I was looking him up and then remembering the movies. And he almost didn't make the list. And you know what? I'm putting Agent Smith above Ramsay under Homelander. I just really like his purpose. Like where he's not just... He is evil, but he is a program. He's programmed a certain way. And then once he doesn't have that way anymore, he's searching for a purpose. And he's just a lost puppy out there. That's what he is. And then he just has this power.
I was thinking of putting him above Homelander.
Oh. You have a reason why?
Is
it just a feeling?
It's just a feeling, I guess.
Like he belongs there?
I feel like he just belongs there. It is hard to kind of.
What if I try to sell you a little bit?
Sell me.
Homelander, when it was time to get a new member on the team, he was kind of like a play on Daredevil. And that's the thing is like the boys always plays on comic characters that we know. So Daredevil is blind. Well, was he blind? Yeah, it was a blind guy. It was a blind guy, and he was supposed to be on the team. He's just like, oh, Homelander, I find that he's happy to meet him, and he's introducing himself. And Homelander's really nice at first, and then out of nowhere, Homelander just claps both his ears and makes him pop. So now he can't. He's bleeding out of his ears. Yeah. He can't see. He can't hear. He's just useless now. Where before he thought he was gonna be on the team, this dude just didn't like his power. Pretty much, he essentially kills him. Yep. He makes him useless. This blind guy screaming on the floor. I think he's a little more sadistic, and I think Homelander.
What I like about Agent Smith, so now let me try to sell you.
Okay.
Well, I think what I like about Agent Smith is just that he's relentless and kind of obsessed, in taking down, the Neo and them, and he just won't stop. That's his purpose, almost. Where that's the only thing he wants to do.
Yeah, he's so obsessed with Neo because he's trying to find his purpose. And I just think Homelander should be above because I think he is more evil. Again, if I were to describe Agent Smith as a lost puppy, he almost doesn't know what he's doing. Yeah. He has a plan, but he doesn't. Even when he gets what he wants, he's not happy. Right. Because he's just It's not what I thought it would be.
You sold me there.
Where Homelander, he doesn't even have a plan. He's just he's higher. He's one of these crazy guys, but he has power too.
Oh. I'll go with that.
Okay. Homelander, and then so Agent Smith under Homelander, right? Okay, I gotta rearrange some shit here. While I do that, you throw out the next one.
Fletcher.
I'm trying to find a space on my card to put all these all these names. Okay, let me just write it really quick.
So Fletcher, my initial thought is placing him above Joffrey.
Fletcher above Joffrey. Okay, so why not above Ramsay?
Because Ramsay also makes me kind of hate him. Okay. I'm putting Fletcher above Joffrey mainly because of how much I felt rage-wise towards Fletcher in those scenes where he's treating his students like a piece of shit. Yeah. And Ramsay also kind of made me feel that way in some parts. So I'm like, you little fucking asshole. You're such a you're a piece of shit.
Yeah. Yeah, Ramsay's definitely more evil. I think I agree with you there. Now, I would put him above Joffrey as well because, again, Joffrey's just a kid with power.
Right.
And, I mean, that could be part of the reason why he's worse. But Fletcher, he's not evil. He's just a dick.
He's just a dick.
But he causes these kids to have trauma. He causes one to kill themselves. I'm with you there. I just think he is the better character. This is more of like a feeling one where I think Joffrey is more evil. I'm with you there. We're going to put Fletcher right above Joffrey. So let's just run through it really quick just to catch up. Thanos, so far we have number 1. Joker number two. Vader number 3, which are the 3 obvious ones, and they're top 3 right now. Homelander 4. Agent Smith 5. Ramsay 6. Fletcher 7. Joffrey 8. So we have 2 more. So who are we missing besides the last one?
Tyler Durden and Abby.
Let's go Tyler Durden.
What do you think?
Now, if this was a list where we're just basing off of evil, it would be last. Tyler Durden.
Right.
But because it is yourself and you have insomnia,
it kind of makes you like, shit, that can happen to me.
Yeah. It's almost like the Joker thing. Like, it's just one bad day.
It's one bad
until
day.
you lose your mind. Yeah. So, let's see here. I'm going to put above... Actually, do I want to put it above Joffrey? Let me think about this. Because it is yourself. It is something real that can happen to you. Maybe not to that extent, but...
Would you put him above Fletcher?
No. And I also don't want to disrespect Joffrey. I feel like Joffrey is like the guy that we're putting everybody over right now. Like, it's almost like he's the bar. I'm trying to think if, like, what's the bigger threat? What's the better character? I mean, the twist is nice, but if we take the twist away, like just for it being shocking, is Tyler Durden a better character, better threat than Joffrey?
I'm gonna say yes, and here's why. Because Tyler had to earn what he has. He had to make that cult. He had to earn that. He worked for it. As opposed to Joffrey, it was given to him.
Okay.
The power was just handed over to him, kind of.
So you think that Joffrey is better because...
No, I think Tyler is better.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Tyler over Joffrey. But then what does Joffrey do with that power? He beats people. He gets the main character killed in season 1. You know what?
It's hard.
I don't feel too strongly about it, and you let me get the Agent Smith one, I think.
Okay.
Or which one was it? Which one did you let me get?
I think it was the Agent Smith.
Okay, yeah, so I don't feel too strongly about it. Tyler Durden comes in last place right now. Number 9 as of now. And finally, Abby / Ellie. Now, normally, should we put them together or should we just put Abby? Because Abby is like when it's being promoted to
I
you.
I say that we stick with just Abby.
Because I kind of feel like if we put Abby and Ellie, that's going to be OP.
When we discussed this, we kind of said that we can't have a discussion about Abby without talking about Ellie.
But Abby is the one listed.
But we didn't include Ellie in our list. We included just Abby.
Okay. So Abby as an antagonist. So forget the good parts about her. Just as a threat. Well, when you talk about it being a good character, I guess you can remember.
So just as the antagonist, as if we were still in Ellie's perspective. How about that?
She kills her father figure, the main character to us.
Right.
The character we played as, her father figure.
Her only family left, kind of.
Yeah. But then she leaves. I mean, she almost kills Ellie, but then they stop her.
Yeah, it's kind of...
If we're talking about her being a bad guy, a villain...
She doesn't get that far.
I don't think... if we're ranking this just based off evilness...
She doesn't get far.
She wouldn't get far. If we're talking about how good of a character she is, I put her over Tyler. I put her over Joffrey. I don't know if I'd put her over Fletcher. I never thought I'd compare Fletcher to Abby.
I don't think I could go at that. I think mine would be between Fletcher and Joffrey.
Yeah.
The most. And I feel like I'm being modest. Because...
Putting her over both of them? You said?
No, in between.
In between them.
So, but I wouldn't be able to put her over Fletcher.
I think the biggest thing for her...
I already feel like I'm being kind of like... I'm giving her too much.
I think the biggest thing with her is that she kills Joel, which we love so much.
Yeah, but, you have to understand that what Joel did technically wasn't right either. Right.
Yeah, and Joffrey is a prick.
And Joffrey is
He does get Ned killed. And Ned is a really good character in Game of Thrones Season 1. Like, you think he's going to be the main character. Sean Bean. Scene Bean.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm with you there. I think I'm putting her under Joffrey.
I agree.
Okay.
I agree.
Okay. So, final list. And again, if the producer, the editor, does his job right, there's going to be a list right here. So we'll start at the bottom. Number 10, Tyler Durden. Number 9, Abby from The Last of Us. Number 8, Joffrey from Game of Thrones. Number 7, Fletcher from Whiplash. Number 6, Ramsay from Game of Thrones. Number 5, Agent Smith. Number 4, Homelander. Number 3, Darth Vader. Number 2, Heath Ledger's Joker. And number 1, Thanos.
Which I don't think it's surprising.
It's not surprising, but I just didn't think. I guess I didn't put much thought into it, but I didn't think the 3 first ones that I thought of, that like everybody thinks of probably, would be the 3 villains. So Thanos, Joker, and Vader. Not a bad list.
No.
Not a bad list. I mean, we made the list, but not a bad list. Okay. Any closing thoughts on this?
We did have some doubts in some placings, but I think overall this is
yeah, but nothing too hard.
Yeah.
Nothing. We were around the same area. Like, it's not like I had Abby at number 8 and you had her at number 2. Nothing like that. Like, we're pretty close no matter what. We did push back a little bit.
I think part of that is because we made this list kind of together.
Yeah, but not the ranking. Right. We didn't talk about rankings at all. I didn't ask you who would be number 1, do you think? No, I had no idea where we would go. But yeah, that's the list, baby. Any other thoughts? Any other comments? Any other concerns?
I think if we were to have a different ranking system, it might change the list in terms of who is the most evil or who is, I don't know.
I mean, we could do that really quick, just as a fun little exercise.
You want to try that? Sure.
Who, if this was based off of who's the most evil,
mm-hmm.
Let's see how different it would actually be. Because that's what I thought we were doing originally as well.
Right.
So I think that bottom 5 would be different. Would be similar. So
you think the bottom 5?
Tyler Durden, I think, stays at the bottom because if we're talking about most evil. It's kind of like yourself. Like, you're only hurting yourself.
I think Abby.
I mean, she kills.
I guess you're right.
For revenge, where.
Well, what about Fletcher?
That's true. He's not evil. He's just a dick.
He's just a dick.
I mean, he did get somebody killed, but he's the least evil out of these. Yeah, probably Fletcher 10.
Tyler
Durden 9.
Abby
8. And now this is where things get interesting. Oh, Agent Smith 7. I think.
I agree.
Let me cross these off as I go. I'm going to forget. Agent Smith 7. Who would you put 6?
You ready for this one?
Go for it.
Darth Vader. Actually, I take it back. Joker.
No. Mm-hmm. Joker's killing people left and right.
And so are all the other guys.
I would put maybe I think you're right about the Vader thing, actually. No, because he has a whole, like, he doesn't run the Empire, but it's almost like the Nazis. They're space Nazis, kind of. I was going to, at first, mention Joffrey, because he is a dick, but like, what's his body count? Really? 2, 3?
But who were they?
Yeah, the one of them was a big one. But you think he's more evil than Joker? Heath Ledger's Joker? I'm thinking. I'm not like doubting you. I'm just like thinking out loud here. Like, well, what's Joker's body count?
He probably has a lot. But we're not
he caused a lot of anarchy.
We're not going based off of body count. Though.
I know, but I'm just thinking about like evil. Like if we're talking about who's the most evil, like, well, what's the most damage they've done? Is my thinking.
I feel like Joker does more mental damage than actual like killing.
He messes up Harvey Dent. But now that I'm thinking about it, we're doing this. Who does he kill? He kills like random people, but like does he ever? And he blows up buildings.
I feel like most of the time he has other people.
He kills bad guys.
Yeah.
Like, you want to know how I got these scars? He kills that guy. He kills the guy with the pencil, also another gangster. You know what? We're putting Joker number, what is it, 6?
6.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait, 10, 9, 8, 7. Yeah, 6.
I told you.
I just had to think out loud. That was shocking to hear. Okay. 5. I mean, we're talking about Joffrey. Do you think?
I think Joffrey belongs there.
Are we missing somebody?
No.
Okay, Joffrey would be next.
I agree.
And then, see, because there's only 3 left, and I thought that was 5. Or am I missing somebody?
So we have Tyler Durden as 10, right?
Are you doing this list right now? You have it written down?
I do not.
Oh, okay. So Tyler Durden, we said, was 10.
10.
In terms of evilness. Abby, 9. Right?
Then we have Fletcher.
I don't think the mic is catching you.
I said yes, and
he said,
and then Fletcher is 8, right?
Fletcher is 8.
Agent Smith 7.
7. We said
Joker
6. Joffrey 5.
Joffrey 5.
Okay. Out of these, so I'm gonna say Thanos 4, because even though his body count is huge, he thinks what he's doing is right. Out of because think about I'm sorry, Vader's still there.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Vader's next.
4. So 4. Vader's 4.
And then I think
Thanos.
Oh.
Ramsay.
So we have 3 more.
Ramsay, too.
Oh no, we already did Vader, huh?
Mm-hmm. So we have Homelander and Ramsay next. I think Ramsay should be 2.
I also think Ramsay should be 2. Because again, Homelander is Superman. He can take out, which I think we're still going to see the worst of him. But this guy, we've seen him tease it already. Like, he's unstable. He has power. We've seen him abuse that power.
Right.
We've seen him rape.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, Butcher's wife.
Mm-hmm. Butcher's wife, yeah.
Or was that rape or was that?
No, he raped her.
Okay, Jesus. We just said the R word a lot.
Well, it happened.
It did happen.
It is a, mature audience.
He made somebody who was suicidal kill themselves.
He makes people suicidal.
He makes people suicidal. He tortures people. Mm-hmm. He pops people's heads. Yeah, he's the worst.
You know what would have been an interesting character to probably mention as well?
What's up?
Well, I just forgot his name. It's from
what?
It's from The Boys.
Bad guy?
The British guy. What's his name?
The British guy.
Yeah.
Like in the show, he's British? You talking about Butcher?
Butcher.
Is he British?
I don't know. I think
look at us. Accent. As ignorant Americans. We hear an accent.
He just fakes his accent?
No, I'm just saying, I don't know if that's a British accent. Is it like Australian? You from
like oi?
Oi. Who says oi?
I don't know. He does.
I know, but like which country? Australian? I don't know. Do kangaroos say oi?
I think they all do. Welsh people, maybe. I don't know.
Oi of a kangaroo.
Point being is that guy's pretty fucking evil too.
Not
Homelander style.
He deserves a shout out in being a threat, but I think he's more hero than threat.
He's like an anti-hero.
There you go.
That's a good way to put them.
We even talk about anti-heroes. Maybe that's a topic for another day.
Okay.
Okay. I think we've mentioned everything we wanted to, commented. Any concerns?
Thank you for sticking with us. Give us your own list. We'd be more than happy to see your list and what you think about ours.
Yeah, once again, if you lasted this long with us, we're barely on episode 2, and we're an hour and 15 minutes into this episode. And if you lasted this long to give a shit about our ranking about villains, participate. Give us 5. Give us 20 if you want, but give us some of your favorite villains. Let us know what you think we got wrong.
Why?
How would you rank our villains? Give me comment. Give me like 10 comments. I don't care. Flood us. Flood us. Okay. Anything else?
That's it.
That's it. We're done here. Episode 2. Peace out.
See you in the next one.